Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Thank you so much for joining to this information session, what we organized on our latest call for proposal in the PROTEUS project, which is intended to support Watchdog strategic litigation capacities in Central Europe. My name is Daniel Hegedus. I lead the Central Europe programming of the Transatlantic Foundation at the German Marshall Fund of the United States. And please also allow me to introduce my great colleagues to you. Veronika Zimova, who is the chief coordinator of the PROTEUS project in our program, and Dimitar Kerenov, who is assisting us both with regard to the project countries, Bulgaria, Croatia, and with this event today. We will try to be short and concise, being mindful of your time as well. I will go through a very brief general introduction and potentially talk a bit longer about the eligible activities under the call for proposal. And then I will give the floor to Veronika also to discuss and clarify administrative details related to the eligibility or other points and parts of the application process. So, starting very briefly, our PROTEUS programming is actually part of the European Union Citizens' Equality, Rights and Values program. It's co-funded by the European Union and relates to the Union values stream of SERV, which was designed to protect and promote Union values in all 27 EU member states. Actually, the abbreviation PROTEUS stands for Protecting EU Values and Fundamental Rights through Public Participation and Civil Society Assistance in Central Europe. As you can see also from that rather long title, we have a regional programming covering a couple of programming countries. And actually, the aim of PROTEUS is to strengthen civil society organization, that they can better protect, promote, and raise awareness of EU values and fundamental rights, as it's actually the main aim of SERV as well. The main program objectives of PROTEUS are supporting democratic participation, public deliberation, and inclusion, actually also through democracy and human rights education, strengthening CSO's resilience to shrinking spaces, protecting and promoting EU values and fundamental rights with a special focus on peripheral and rural areas, and also to support civic activism in peripheral and rural areas through capacity building. There's always a bit confusion, especially if you see our email addresses. Actually, our EU SERV programming and PROTEUS is running through the Transatlantic Foundation, TF. The Transatlantic Foundation is the European legal entity and EU registered arm of the German Marshall Fund of the United States with a headquarters in Brussels. But actually TF trades as GMF, and this is also the reason why we use GMF email addresses, and in other situations can appear actually as GMF stuff. So it's practically just a different legal entity under the same organization, but actually we are one team managing the Central Europe work of the Transatlantic Foundation and GMF as well. We are covering 8 project countries with PROTEUS: Bulgaria, Croatia, Czechia, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia. And we have implementation partners in all of these 8 countries who are providing capacity building and micro-granting under PROTEUS for our beneficiaries, while at TF we are actually in charge of the main grant-making work stream. And after this very brief introduction, now coming to actually the call for proposal, which is, I think, very much also in the center of your interest, what we published at the very end of June, actually with a submission deadline on 1st of September. It's titled Strengthening Watchdog Strategic Litigation Capacities. In this or under this call for proposal, because it's actually running under the objective strengthening civil society organizations' resilience to shrinking spaces, applicants from 6 project countries are eligible. These are the project countries where we identified a significant challenge related to shrinking spaces for civil society organizations, either at the beginning of the programming or actually due to the latest development, we put also other countries into that category. But just to cut it simple and short, the eligible countries under this call for proposals are Bulgaria, Croatia, Hungary, Poland, Romania, and Slovakia. So civil society organizations registered in these 6 countries can act as main applicants, and total available budget under this call is 400,000 euro. You can see the eligible activities. Please feel free to make a print screen, but obviously it's also detailed in the call for proposal. Here, what I would like actually to underline is that the eligible activities are not strictly limited to strategic litigation activities. First and foremost, we would like to support the legal aid capabilities, legal capacities, and strategic litigation capacities, either human rights watchdogs, which obviously includes all watchdog organizations which are potentially just single issue CSOs, protecting the rights of different minority groups, for example, or can be also human rights watchdogs in broader sense, and transparency watchdogs. Eligible activities can cover internal capacity building, can cover legal aid activities, can cover workshops, seminars, trainings, which are enhancing either their own expertise or the expertise of other organizations, and also the creation of advocacy strategies and communication strategies which are related to the existing legal or litigation work of the organizations, actually following, for example, the mindset or the logic of impact litigation. However, what we have to underline, and this is a very strict limitation not imposed by us, but by the European Commission, that actually there is one sort of activities which cannot be supported under this action, and these are actually the specific court-related strategic litigation matters. So no court costs, no court costs, and no legal procedural costs can be covered through this amount of available support. You can see that also in the eligibility note. This is different from or other measures with which we try to support strategic litigation throughout the region. But due to this imposed limitation by the European Union, unfortunately, in this case, we strictly have to limit the eligible activities either to capacity building or legal aid outside of court proceedings, and advocacy and communication related to litigation activities. I already mentioned one eligibility criteria, which is that the main applicants should be registered in one of the 6 program countries. It's a further criteria to applicants that they need to be non-profit organizations. So it can be also a non-profit corporate entity, but a non-profit status is a must. The project duration can be from up to 6 months to 12 months. What's important from our perspective, that the starting date cannot be sooner as the 1st of January 2025, and the project end date cannot go beyond the 31st of December 2025. Cross-border activities can be considered, so the project proposals doesn't need to be limited to a single country. We have 2 different budget ranges actually for projects. Single country projects can range from 10,000 to 30,000 euro, while cross-border projects or multi-country projects can range from 10,000 to 40,000 euro. in that case, so in the case of multi-country projects, I think Veronica will share further details with you regarding the different status of co-applicants and partners, and how from actually a logical and legal perspective such multi-country projects can be created. And I also have to emphasize that there is no expectation for co-funding. However, this available support cannot be used together with other forms of EU funding or EU support. Actually, different sources of EU funding are mutually exclusive, and they cannot be used as co-funding in any of these projects. And obviously, it's a general rule and expectation in all of the EU SURV and PROTEUS activities, but obviously we have to emphasize it now as well, that all of the projects and obviously also the applying organizations and their activities must be in compliance with the fundamental EU values as laid down in the treaties and the Charter of the Fundamental Rights. Activities which violate actually EU values, question them, or breach fundamental rights can lead to an exclusion from the application process or later from funding. And actually, this is the point where, after the brief introduction and clarifying the eligible activities and some basic eligibility information, I would like to pass the floor to Veronica to deep dive into the further administrative details of the application procedure. So thank you for your attention, and Veronica, you have the floor.
So I will move on. Thank you, Daniel, for all the explanations. I will move to some more practical points when it comes to preparing your application. But before we do that, I would like to clarify the difference between co-applicant and partner. Co-applicants can be a non-profit organization. The same eligibility criteria apply as to you. But also it can be, in this case, it can be an organization not from those 6 eligible countries, but your co-applicant can be also an organization from another EU country when you are planning cross-border activities. Basically, you prepare the project together. Your co-applicant or co-applicants have their share of the budget, have their share of activities. They are responsible for the management of their allocated budget, and then they report to you as to the lead applicant. So the lead applicant is responsible for the whole grant. Then when we move to the partner, on the other hand, partner can be a non-profit, but also a for-profit organization, which supports your activities, but does not directly benefit from the grant. For example, you write or prepare an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with a local municipality. The local municipality will support your activities, will allow you to use their premises, for example, without requesting any payment. On the other hand, for example, you invite an expert from a university to participate in one of your events, and that expert gets paid through a contract closed between the expert and you as lead applicant or your co-applicant. So I think that would be briefly. Of course, in the Q&A you can ask more questions. And you can still see the presentation, right? Okay. And then we move to the application process. So we accept applications up to 1st of September, midnight. In the application package, please submit the application form in English or one of the native languages, national languages, and please submit both in the PDF and Word format, along with the budget form and declaration on honor. Email the full package. Please email it to the engagingce@gmf.us.org with the call reference number in the subject line. We really appreciate when you use the reference number, because it allows us to sort out the application faster. So thank you for that. Then I would like to just point out a few things about the application form and when you are preparing your presentation. So please, when you are set out a clear overall goal, and once you have this overall goal, which is in line with the course objectives, break down this goal to specific objectives, the objectives into activities, and those activities into results. When it comes to results, you are free to define any qualitative results. But when it comes to quantitative results, we have a set of mandatory ones, which is, for example, number of publications, number of awareness raising actions, or number of targeted individuals provided with the surveys. These are your beneficiaries. And you, because this is a set of mandatory results, you need to define them, but it doesn't mean that you have to deliver on them. So in case in your project activities you do not envision publishing a publication, in that case you just write a 0. So, and it's completely fine. So you don't need to worry about that. But try to at least fit in 1 or 2 of these quantitative results. Thank you. And moving on to, I think, a few words about the budget. Just, I would like to emphasize that when you are defining the total, so like in case of full-time employees, please make sure that you use as unit cost, you use the total labor cost. So it's the gross salary, including all the mandatory payments, mandatory contributions like social insurance, health insurance, and so on, what you pay as employer. And just a quick example, please always state the level of engagement of the employee. So for example, your full-time employee earning 1,200 euros per month is working on, is having 50% engagement on the project, then the unit will be 600 euros. So it makes the calculation way easier. Another thing I would like to point out is that the administrative cost can be no more than 7% of the total requested grant amount, and you can use it for utilities, financial management, or for example, cybersecurity, a firewall, and so on. Your projects will be, your proposals will be evaluated based on 6 award criteria. Out of these 6 criteria, as you can see, the alignment with the core objectives, problem statement, needs assessment, and the relevance of your activities are rated the highest. So you get 10 points for that. And in case but you can also get bonus points in case your activities take place in rural areas or in towns and regional capitals. The maximum score is 28 points and the eligibility threshold is 15. And timeline of the project evaluation is September till October. This is a period when we will go through your proposals. You will all receive a confirmation email once we received your proposal in September. So like don't, in case you submit your proposal in August, we will collect and register all the proposals after 1st of September. So the confirmation email will come not immediately after you send your application. This is also a time period where we can reach out to you with some additional questions. And in November, we will publish the results on our PROTEUS website, so you can keep checking. But again, once we have the results and once the results are published on the PROTEUS website, we will reach out to you with a congratulation email or in the sadder situation with a rejection email. After that, we proceed to signing the grant agreement. And once the grant agreement is signed, you will receive the grant in full in one-time payment.